And I would like to ask all of our panel members to comment on maybe the niche that they've found.
Well,
yes, Brad?
Yes. Well, yeah, I mean, I think one of the things, at least with our site, is that, I don't think we're necessarily the best writers out there, but the thing is we've sort of carved out our own community and our own niche, and believe it or not, it's a much different audience than a lot of than the readers that typically go to some of these larger gaming sites, and because of that, we're able to sort of put out content. I mean, a lot of our audience, they don't comb all these other blogs, sort of like we do, blogs and news sites. So anytime they hear our commentary on like a news topic or about a game we're excited about, it's oftentimes like the first we hear about it, or the first they hear about it. So sometimes we get on a topic, and it's a topic that we talk about back and forth, and we're like, well, this topic is posted, written about everywhere on the internet. Do they really care about our opinion? And then we sort of take a look and realize that it's just, I mean, they're different. This like our community wants our opinion. They're not the same audience that goes to these other sites, and I think we've achieved a lot of success like within our own community, even though we're not as good of our writers in that sense.
And yeah, it's more important to put out your personality and your real true personality, because like what you were talking about as far as what we write, and if you look at these aggregate sites and these reviews, you look at these reviews and all of them are just numbers, and even if you read the article, you don't really know what they're talking about. But for us, I think people will know, oh, okay, well, David kind of likes the music games. He plays a lot of music games, but he's not so big into Dragon Age or something. And so for when I go to look for a game and whether I want to buy it or not, I'll trust maybe Brad's opinion over a bunch of websites, just because I know him and I more trust his opinion. And I think that's what people who come to our site kind of feel like they understand us a little bit better, so they know where we're coming from as far as reviews.
Definitely.
He says he trusts my opinion, but I think Dragon Age Origins is one of the finest RPGs ever made, and he hasn't touched it.
I touched it, but that was it.
Oh, thanks for that.
Neither has Nick.
Hey, I did play 4 hours of it. So, Jim, Nero, what kinds of things has your community done to help you grow over the past few years? You've said you've reached a tremendous amount of readers. What role has your community taken in getting to that point?
Well, they've been crucial, really. I mean, we started up community blogs in, when was that, 2007? Yeah. And so pretty much anyone who comes to Destructoid can become a blogger in their own right, and we promote those. So they've been crucial in generating content for us. We'd get nowhere without their loyalty and dedication, and when we go to something like PAX, we can fill out a bar with just Destructoid people, and they're there for positive reinforcement, sometimes negative reinforcement as well. But yeah, I mean, they've been the be-all and end-all of what Destructoid is, really.
Yeah, it's made all the difference for me. Even on a personal level, site aside, I've never had such a cool group of friends. It's just cool people. I just show up in Seattle and there's 100 people that I know from the internet that are here, and I recognize all the faces. And I'm really bad with names, so we have name tags. Keep track of all of them. But going back to what you said, it's and finding that niche and a special need that maybe your site can fill that some of the other sites don't. It always bothered me that some of the larger sites had community as it's kind of like a thing that they have obscure on the
its own
sidebar.
Separate little thing.
It's like a very second-class thing where on Destructoid, and we try to make it to where there really is not that much separation between staff and community. We publish your articles the same way we publish staff. It goes right on the homepage. When we promote stuff, it's really all about. And I mean, we came from the community, so. It's something special for me to be able to kind of give that back.
Yes.
I think people really appreciate it when we get into the trenches with them, we get involved in the discussions they have, and we try and just be like one of the guys with them. I know when I met a particular fan back when I was still living in Britain, and he wanted to buy me a beer, and then 50 beers later, I fell out of a subway with sweet corn dripping from my mouth, saying, "You wouldn't get this from Brian Crescenti," and I think that's true. There are some journalists where there is a very clear separation between writer and reader, and I think that's why we say that places like IGN have readers, whereas places like Destructoid have fans, and that's been essential to getting us where we are.
And just to reinforce the importance of community, this time last year, we were coming to PAX 2009, and we were getting ready. We were trying to throw together the funds to get out here, plane tickets and the such. And we were coming. We ended up. Some of our community was offering their help.
Well, there's a guy who sent us a message through Facebook. He's like, "Hey, David, if you guys don't have a place to stay, you could stay with me." And I was like, "Oh, well, that's pretty nice." And I click on his Facebook, and it's a guy standing on stage with a microphone like this, and he's covered in like blood. And I'm like, "We want to stay
in his underwear."
This guy?
Where is he staying? Because I'd quite like to.
Well, he's right there actually. Yeah. He's in the community. Joseph's helped write for a year now, so he's been with us.
Joseph's been a very important,
we're all living in his apartment right now.
Yeah, second year in a row living in his apartment, and he's been a fantastic supporter and contributor to the site, and it's things like that make that really reinforce how important community is for us, because without his help, we might not have a place to stay, or we might not be able to go to PAX. Or
we have no money.
But he's contributed some fantastic content, and we never would have, necessarily stumbled across that or found it if we didn't give him the chance to.
It just all builds onto each other, because at E3, actually, how it happened is we were at E3, we showed up for the Natal thing, and we were just standing outside, and Joseph started talking to Jim, and that's kind of how we got involved.
Waiting outside for the Connect event, no less.
And
waiting outside to sneak in because we weren't invited.
Yeah.
Which we will also
and
touch on.
And that paid off, didn't it?
Yeah. Which
I actually called in a favor from Aaron Greenberg at Microsoft to get me in, and then showed him my coverage afterwards.